What nobody tells you about becoming an adult. Everyone makes turning 18 sound like a huge moment. Like you wake up one day and suddenly everything changes. Like you're an adult now. You're free. You can do whatever you want. No more rules, no more limitations, no more being told what to do. But nobody really tells you what happens after that moment. Because the truth is, nothing changes at all. Nothing changes overnight. You still feel like the same person you were at 17, except now there's just more pressure, more expectations, and a lot less guidance than you're used to. And if you feel 18 or you feel lost at any age of being an adult, it's actually normal, but nobody talks about it in a real way. So in this video, I'm going to break down what actually happens when you become 18 or an adult. Not the motivational version, not the Instagram version, the real version. Like, you don't actually become an adult overnight. The biggest lie about turning 18 is that something switches in your brain. It doesn't. There's no moment where you suddenly feel responsible, confident, or put together. You don't suddenly wake up and know how life works. You're still you. Like I said, you're still the same person you were 17 or the same person you were yesterday. You know? Same habits, same mindset, same fears. The only difference now is that people expect you to act like you know everything or have everything figured out. And that's where it gets confusing because inside, you might still feel like a kid trying to understand everything, but outside, everyone expects you to move like an adult. Make decisions fast, be independent, know your path, but nobody teaches you how to actually do it. So you end up in this weird like middle ground, not a kid anymore, but not fully an adult either, just stuck in between. And honestly, most people stay in that phase way longer than they admit. Let me give you an example. Even like, when I'm arguing with my parents or having a talk with them and stuff, they always say, you know, before I was 18 or 17, 16, or however old I was, they would be like, you're not an adult. You're not an adult. You're not an adult. So don't do that. But now it's you're not an adult on our level, and I can kind of feel like, you're not an adult yet. Like you're not ready for that. And another thing is that freedom doesn't feel like freedom at first. Everyone thinks freedom at 18 feels amazing, and yeah, at first it kind of does. Actually, it didn't really change for me at all. I'm still doesn't I really don't do anything. Like you don't unlock automatic DLC just because you turn 18. The rest of the DLC, if you want to call it that, comes when you're 21 and you can drink and you can do all this other crap. But yeah, at first, it kind of does feel like freedom. You can make your own choices. Not really, because right at 18, you're probably still living with your parents or you do in the military. You know, you don't have someone constantly telling you what to do, but nobody warns you about this. Freedom comes with responsibility and pressure because now every decision is on you. If you fail, there's no teacher, there's no parent, there's no system to blame. It's legit just on you. And it sounds empowering in the moment, but it can also feel heavy. Now, even the small, minute decisions start to matter more. Like what you do with your time, who you spend it with, whether you actually work towards something or just drift. And the scariest part, no one is forcing you anymore. If you mess up, it's silent. There's no warning bell, just consequences later. Like, that's the part people don't prepare you for. Freedom isn't just do whatever you want. Go out and get that face tattoo. Go out and drink. Go out and do whatever. It's not that at all. It's also living with everything that comes after what you choose. And you start comparing yourself to everyone. This is where a lot of people start to feel behind. At 18, suddenly everyone starts talking about plans like, oh, college, military, workforce, money, careers. What are you doing with your life? And that question always comes up. And even if you don't say it out loud, you start watching other people. Some people don't seem ahead. Some people already have things figured out. Some people look like they're winning at life. But here's what nobody tells you. Most people are just as lost as you. They might act tough, they might act confident, they might act like they have everything put together, but reality, no one has anything together. Everyone might seem like they have everything together, but no one really does. Even your mom and dad, even the freaking president himself, nobody has everything put together because they're just hiding it a lot better than you. But comparison is what messes up with your head because you stop focusing on your own path and start measuring yourself against people who are not even on the same timeline. And once you start thinking like that, it's hard to stop. You can be doing fine in your own life, but still feel like you're falling just because someone else looks like they're moving faster than you are. And that kind of motivation disappears fast. A lot of people at 18 go through a phase where they feel motivated, a new chapter, life energy. You want to improve yourself. You want to change your life. You want to move from your parents' house. You want to move to a different country. You want to do everything right, change your life. But that phase doesn't last. Every motivation is emotional, and emotions don't stay consistent. Like I said in my video, running away from your problems, like in the book, How to Win Friends and Enemies, the author says, people are creatures of emotion. All right. So think of yourself, everything you do, everything you think of is based off emotion, not off of what you really want. And emotions don't stay consistent. Eventually reality kicks in. Things get repetitive. Hard work doesn't feel exciting anymore. And that's when most people fall off. Not because they're lazy, but because they are relying on motivation, relying on the inconsistent emotions instead of structure. This is where adulthood really starts. When you realize you don't need to feel like doing something to actually do it. You just need to do it anyways. Even when it's boring, even when no one's watching, even when it doesn't feel rewarding yet. That's the difference between thinking like a kid and starting to think like an adult. Nobody really knows what they're doing at the end of the day. One of the biggest secrets about adulthood is that most people are guessing, even adults, even my parents, even your grandma, just to look confident in front of you. Even the ones who look confident, even the ones who act like they have everything planned. A lot of people are just adjusting as they go. They are guessing as they go. Not guessing essentially, but just going with the flow, making decisions based on what they think is best at the time, not because they have some perfect roadmap. No one has a perfect roadmap, and once you realize that, it changes how you see everything, because suddenly you stop expecting life to be perfectly figured out, and you start realizing that everyone is just trying to make it work. There's no secret moment where people get quote unquote ready. They just keep going and figure things out along the way, and that's how life is. You start to feel pressure to get your life together, quote unquote life together. At 18, there's this invisible pressure that hits. Like, you're supposed to build your entire life immediately, pick a career, start earning money, be responsible, be stable, be protective, all at once, all in this one big package. But that pressure is unrealistic, because nobody builds their life in a straight line, because people take wrong turns, they change direction, they restart, they waste time, they figure things out slowly. Even for me, even for other seniors, everyone does not have a strict roadmap. Sometimes they say, I'm gonna go to college, boom, they change the military, boom, they might change the workforce, they might go to a different college they didn't even plan to go to, they might go to community college and transfer later. Nothing is in a straight line. They restart, they might waste time, they might figure things out slowly, not instantly, they might change their whole plan, but at 18, it can feel like you're running out of time before you even started. And that mindset can mess with your head. Even if you let it mess with your head, because you start rushing decisions that don't need to be rushed at all just to feel on track, when in reality, most of life is just trial and error. And the truth about being 18, if I had to sum it all up, it would be this: turning 18 doesn't give you answers, it gives you responsibility without instructions. And at first, that feels overwhelming, but it's also the beginning of learning how to actually build your life, not based on what people expect, not based on what your parents want, based on what you want and what you want to figure out for yourself. And yeah, you're going to feel lost sometimes, confused sometimes, behind sometimes, but that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. That just means you're in the process. So if you're 18, or about to be 18, and you don't feel ready, not supposed to at all. Nobody really is. You're not too late, you're not behind, you're just starting. And even though I turned 18 not even that long ago, I'd say probably 4 or 5 months ago, I would say that nothing's really changed since I turned 17. Maybe being able to join the military, maybe being able to buy a lottery ticket. Still, it's cool as fuck being 18. But hey. But that's it for this video, guys. I really appreciate it if you guys like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys want to comment anything down below, any specific topics I'm going to speak about, I would really appreciate that. And I'll get that out to you guys Thursday. As you guys know, my upload schedule is Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday at 6 p.m. PST. But with that being said, see you guys later.